This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, as I said before, good morning, everybody. So it's a pleasure. There are people as participants here, students. If someone is here because of as a student of mine, perfect, and welcome. If not, so welcome as well for the people that want to participate in this workshop. First of all, I will start by making introducing myself about this workshop that is called time management. I remember that before on October, we'll start by doing the being hired, how to manage of being hired successfully. It was about human resources. And also today, we will start today from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock by doing another this fantastic workshop that was time management. So it consists on 3 hours. However, in order to deal it, we said that we take a break. We will take a break perhaps at 2:30 approximately. This was a take break for having a coffee or whatever what you want. Indeed, the coffee break or coffee is about 30 minutes. The point is I'm going to give you 15 minutes, and then if you want it, I think is the first was very useful for you is before 4 o'clock, probably at 3:45. So we close it, the break. And if you have questions for the people that wanted to ask something, perfect. But however, if you finish, so you can leave and do it, the things that you wanted to do. I prefer it because sometimes, to some extent, some students need to retake classes at 4 o'clock. Perhaps it could be better to finish 15 minutes. We divided the break on about half 30 minutes. We divided into part. 15 minutes we will take it at 4:30, and then we will finish 15 minutes before. And from the people that wanted to do things, however, you wanted to stay here and you ask questions, I will be glad to stay here and solve the questions as best as possible. So if when it's 1 o'clock, we want to be very English today, and I think we can start this workshop. So welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Tamer, for your support about administrative report, everything in this webinar. Without the help of my colleague Tamer, it wouldn't be possible to do that, because through the back side, from the back, you can see that you need to do a lot of things to this webinar come out today. Without the effort of Tamer, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure all the time, Anton, to work with you. Okay.
And today, well, let's start. Let's start by sharing my presentation. As you can see, I think you can see well. As I said, the same when I will start by introducing myself. My name is Antonio Anton. It's very easy to know my name, Antonio Anton. Not very complicated. I work in the University of Alicante in Spain, in the Department of Business Economics. However, my feedback is about human resources. So today is from a lot of years of experience. So put in practice what I learned about different abilities, skills. One of them, human resources, basically the human resources. And depending on the human resources is time management. So a good action today when the companies wanted to profit, get more profits, and well, who knows, to the time management. For a student, I think it's very suitable for you. in order to have an interview. And when someone asks you about what involves time management, so to show some strategies to show that you can deal with time management. So time management is essential, or it is, even though internet, social media, it seems to us apparently our life is easier. It's not true. Our life is more complicated today. Okay, and we need to thank you to internet. It's true in terms of time management. Okay, because multitasking. We are not humankind. We are humankind, and multitasking is not about ourselves, but we need to focus on multitasking. So this is a very short introduction to do it now. To know myself as my email. Well, you know my email. Tamer offered my mail. The idea of its webinar is, well, at the end of the webinar, you have some exercises, so you need to do. You can send by email, or for me, they are not really complicated as well. You can practice here, but it's essential to send this exercise in order to know if you understand the contents of this webinar. Then after that, if you understand what the 110, 20 days approximately, according to Tamer, you send the certification, the proper digital certification, if you did it this exercise according to the tasks that are required. So let's start. Well, I will start to make the presentation. You can see I'm not going to see your faces. So if someone need to do something or chat or whatever it is, so let me know, and by chat or Tamer or by whatever, because at the moment currently I can't see your faces. I can see my camera and see my presentation, so I think it's understandable. So today, well, this is my timeline. You remember that dates and times, that this is the break, as you said, where we, as I said before, we need to divide it this time in two parts, 40-30 to 40-45, and then we try to leave earlier, maybe perhaps after 15, for the people that wanted to retake classes at the University of Alicante. For the rest of the people, you want to stay together. So I will be enchanted trying to solving the questions. So the idea of this workshop is to know about it, just to becoming aware of the time that you spend in date, trying to gain control of your time. Is very, very, very difficult. But today, when it comes, it seems to us that internet is something that allows to do our life better. However, I think some doubts about it, as I said before, because to some extent, humankind, as person, we are not very multitasking. So the idea was to get in control of your time, becoming more aware of the time. And the idea, I think it's a reality when you say, I'm stressed, I'm very stressful, I'm very stressful, I suffer from anxiety, depression, or some extent. Sometimes, as you know, sometimes our words, you need to handle stress, how you handle the stress. And sometimes to handle better the stress is to need to know how to handle your management time. Well, workshop methodology is well, as you said before, you need to carry out the exercises. We explain it here. I offer I will be glad if someone wanted to participate in class, or to say something or whatever it is. So we will prefer to find solutions to this success. After that, so and material in the cloud every night or afternoon, Tamer send you the exercises that we work together. So the people who stay here, probably you understand very well what you wanted to do. The other people that didn't stay, well, maybe perhaps they go to see, to review, to the media contents, the contents of this course that they are recorded now. So in order to know how to show the exercise. And finally, well, the assessment, the 60%, but you say you can attend the classes, you can retake these classes by sending these exercises, and that we will do on daily basis. Every day, we after the workshop, and you need to take into account that there are some exercises that you can't send to me by email, and then, well, I see you can understand what the contents of these exercises. So for the people that attend today, will be not very complicated, but because you can do it right now in the same, I give you time to do it, and then what you have to do is to send me by email. Okay. Any questions so far? No, everything's understandable. So perfect. So let's start by the first point. This is our workshop. We divide it in different modules, in different units. First, today we will focus on it. I'm going to put it better. Better. Okay, I think it's better. So this is our workshop contents. We will focus today on time management and setting goals. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And setting goals. Sometimes I want you to state my how to the points that it's why I need to start with this point, why I did it, time management audit, or why time management is important to understand. And the idea is with what we have. Sometimes we face that there are not enough hours in the day, and sometimes our goals as humans is to do a lot of things. So this is our mind, how our mind works. Our mind is need to do things. So think about it. This is like a computer. In our head, we have a computer, and the computer need to do things. The more things I do, the better. So this is the thing that our mind is thinking every time, doing things. The more things you do, the more serotonin you receive. It's a question of serotonin. Serotonin, you didn't know about it. It's a hormone. So hormone that your body needs to when you accomplish something. Okay, you accomplish something. You receive serotonin. So that's the idea for most of you, or sometimes people are very stick to their work when it comes to working, are very addicted for working. Sometimes you feel pleasure. So because of the serotonin that you every time you receive when achieve something. Okay. My first approach about finding out how you really spend your time is knowing where you spend your time. Probably the book of you, majority of people think that you can control it. So it's not very, perhaps you say, well, that's for sure that I know where that time goes, because this morning I wake up, I check out my emails, I had a meeting, whatever it is. So it's good idea. So indeed, what you are telling me is how you spend your time. So this is about the activity. However, it's important, apart for make these estimations, it's important to note what is your estimated time and what is your actual time. Because to some extent, when you try to measure it, you know exactly what time you involve in every activity. Sometimes it's involved more time doing this activity log or spreadsheets or whatever it is. However, it's very useful. So my first approach to it is spend your time knowing which activity, how many minutes you involve in any activity. So it will be very, very advisable for you. So this is one of the first exercises for today. So this is try to work in your first activity, try to get estimations in different activities. Try how many activities you say, well, I need to write how many activities, well, I know 4, 5, 6 activities, for instance. Think about the estimated time that you predict, you might predict for it, and then the actual time. You are stick to your time. So this is a good rule of thumb to thinking about it. Next time that you start working, for instance, tomorrow, for instance, you start tomorrow, think about your estimated time and which activities you started tomorrow. You know it to agenda, to go agenda, you need to do a lot of things. But apart from what you say that they are valuable, I'm very interested in the other activities. And I'll show you an example. So it's very important. This short activity is called timesheets. Okay, this is your activity that you're reporting, spending your tax. And this is one example. This is a weekly schedule, your time. Also, you can join your actual, really an actual time and the month. It's not necessary I'm not very interested in all of that. I will interested only one day. So for tomorrow is Tuesday. So let me know, for instance, what is your weekly schedule in terms of Tuesday. So for the first activity in this time work, this webinar, very, very practical, is to start by telling me, for instance, what is your daily activities for tomorrow? What are them? So this is the first approach. Let me know 6 activities about what you think about time, for instance, Tuesday, and what you need to do on Tuesday. Here, apart from there, other way, this is time sheets to know it. So remember, so we might have an example about there are different plannings, personal calls, surfing the web, chatting with coworkers, doing personal queries. So you can do it by trying to get a percentages. I don't know you come from economics. I don't know you come from other grades that they are not involved economics, as tourism, perhaps. Well, tourism, the people of tourism are very, very good in numbers, according to my group of English group. I'm very proud of them. But there are other people that don't take very well, that are very familiar with numbers. So the idea, he put an example of you wanted to do, you have 100% of the time, how you calculated it, okay? And the first one in terms of this is an example. And to know it, how do you calculate these numbers, okay? In this first one, for instance, surfing the web, the 44.7% comes from here, okay, according to the rule of thumb, 607, that this is the total of hours, and 100%, 3.13 hours comes the variable x. We isolated the variable by multiplying per it, and then divided per it, okay? This is how you calculate 44.7%. So it means you wanted to show in number of percentages. Would be better to know what is the percentages in the working hours. How do you percentages? How do you know the percentages? And it's equal 44.7%. So first, this is we talk about time seeds. Okay, this is the first idea. But we differentiate it from activity. Time seeds is okay, for me, perfect. Okay. But remember, but what we need to control is activity logs. This is our join. What is an activity logs? So is there any difference between this, we say time seeds and or here, for instance? So from activity logs, yes, there are some very, very important differences. One of them of the difference is what involves an activity log. Okay, an activity log is a written record of how you spend your time. But you can might say, well, Antonio, it's what you explained before. So it's more related to time seeds in terms of activity log. But you said by putting the first exercises that I wanted to carry out is this time seed to put this information. Well, it's not bad, but remember keeping an activity log is better to know how you invest your time. Okay, so let's start by explaining what is an activity log and why activity log is important. Activity log helps you to understand where to invest your time, the right time of the days. So, and you said that it's important to know where I invest my time in the day. I will be aware that where I need to put my things, my stuff, depends on my mood. But sometimes there are people that are very in a high mood in the morning. However, there are other people that have a good mood in the afternoon. So this is the thing that you need to understand where your mood are high and where your mood are less than other. When you feel that you have lower energy and when you feel when you are plenty of energy. So this is very important to know it. Let me know, for instance, then, well, going back to this issues, did you feel, I wanted to show a question for you. Is there some time, to some extent, you feel you can participate in the chat? I wanted to state the question for you. Do you feel very lower energy or high energy? Depends on the day. When do you feel more energetic? For instance, is there a time that you feel more creative, full of energy, however you fail? Could you use the chat? Or when you feel higher than others? People might say, well, after going to the gym, I feel very high, or in the morning, or people say in the afternoon. So could you, one of the students, tell me when you feel higher than others in terms of energy?
In order to motivate the students, there is some, I believe I am in the morning. Maria said I have more energy in the afternoon. Monica said in the afternoon. Okay, so three students, one in the morning, two in afternoon. For me, this is depend on the day. If it's working day, I think it's morning. It's weekend, I feel motivation evening, after 10 o'clock evening or so.
After 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rafi say afternoon.
After dawn and afternoon.
Yes.
So this is, as you can see, there are people that plenty of energy in the morning, and there are other people that plenty of energy in the afternoon. The idea is to know it. So in terms of time management, I'm going to share my presentation another time, is to realize, study yourself. So the first idea in terms of time management is study yourself where you are more energetic and creative in the morning. If you decided that you are very energetic in the morning, it's something that you take in account. However, if you are very more energetic in the afternoon, also. So depends on you, you need to create your activity log. A way of saying that, where is my point to know it? Well, activity log, by knowing to do an activity log, I can move on transfer my activity tasks to others. I can move my activity tasks to others, and then I can make a perfect time sheet in order to know where I need to locate my activities depends on me. Because if you in the morning you are very poor, you suffer, experience lack of energy, it's not good to put a lot of stressful activity. It would be better to tackle of it by yourself. Sometimes you need to stick to your time. When you're working on here and you have not freedom, perhaps you need to focus on it. However, you work for yourself as students and you need to make different activity tasks for today. So you need to give your agenda in order to know where you are more energetic and where you feel less energetic than others.
There is a question from Rifai, say, you mean body or biological clock?
You mean your biological clock? Well, I would say yes, to some extent. More our biological clock is depends on the people and depends on I would say the people, because people are different, and people I know that work better on the afternoon rather than the morning. And however, there are people that work better in the morning rather in the afternoon. So the best way to know is knowing yourself where you produce better. There are some students that want in a seminar, in a webinar, say, Antonio, I feel plenty of energy after training in the gym. Okay, I have no idea. I don't know if the gym perhaps make it charge your battery, and then however, after 3 or 4 o'clock, I go down. So it would be good to take advantage of the time when you feel better. Depends on the activities and depends on the well, you say biological clock. It's understandable as well. Yes, Rafi. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Rafi.
Anton, I will excuse just for 10 minutes. I will bring something from outside.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yep.
If someone wanted, while timer goes, wanted to share something, please use the microphone. Could be better to use your microphone because I can't see your faces right now. So it's clear. So let's move on the what is activity, the second exercises for today. So you can't join together because activity log involves time sheets. Okay, so it's important apart when it comes to time sheet to register the time. It's important to have your time, you have your activity, you have your durations. However, in terms of activity log involves more characteristics, more important features than what is called only just a time sheet. What is this characteristic? Is the way I will focus on value. So you need to do something more in terms of value that you need to decide. So to classify your activities in 3 terms: high, medium, and low value. Because every time you do in terms of activity, we tend as humans, as people, then our tasks, working tasks, are the same, have the same value. However, they aren't have the same value. So this is something that you need to transform the way you think, the way you make this approach in order to take into account that value are really important. And you will say value in terms of activities. This is good example of the second exercise for today is the activity log. And I will show you an example. This is what I want you for tomorrow, okay? This is what I want to think about it. Think about now you wanted to take notes while you are and talk to me. You say, oh, for tomorrow, Tuesday, perfect, Tuesday, time. We need to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up. You are studying, you say to me, well, I'm going to study mathematics, I'm going to study economics, I'm going to study that. Now, what is my agenda for tomorrow, okay, in terms of time? For me, it doesn't matter. You wanted to say, well, this is my time, or if I would be higher in a company, I will do that. If I work by myself, or we're in marketing, you said you can't predict what involves in terms. Here an example. This example I chosen when I was working in consulting a long time ago. Now more in Madrid or in a very. So this is would be an example, okay, about myself working when I was working in a higher work in Madrid in a company of consulting. I was something as a consulting times in terms of consulting. Well, we'll start by checking my emails, for instance. Sometimes team meeting could be. Chit chat is very normal in the whole after the meeting. This is very understandable. You are under stress or whatever, you like to chit chat. Check phone message, return calls, coffee, software project, something about whatever training software project. And then colleagues come to the door to discuss what presentations to make next week. I'm talking about a client or wherever. Take break in the staff room. Then retake my emails. And 10:30 software project materials. Reorganize after the meeting. After this information, I reorganize my software or my project or whatever. At 11 o'clock, provide staff members for the work they are doing. In terms of they need to make a presentations, so they telling how they wanted to do. Go back to the software project. Then the boss, as usual, the boss calls. They wanted to talk me about this client software project. This is a software project about a training. Okay. It's more or less software project, was about training software project for one client, so about human resources or whatever. But it's not the point. It's not the example, but trying to understand the time, the activity, durations, and the value. Then refocus on the software project as well, and finally the lunch. Okay, at 12. So it's not necessary to express. I put from 8 to 12, I think, after lunch. More or less, it could be these activities. So my idea is when you start the time tomorrow, for instance, when you start your time, let me know what is your time, your activity, and your duration. It's clear the point. Remember that here you have the value. I classified the different activities from low, medium, and high. So let me know which activities for you are very valuable. Value activities are, I think I'm going to come back to the camera, okay? Value activities are activities that value activity are activities that they are very crucial for you, are very indispensable. In terms of value, in terms of these activities, it enables brings you value are essential for you. So this is in terms of value activity. I'm going to return back to my presentations, okay, by knowing that Tamer is here. And then low activities involves, well, we see WASI activities. They are not as high they are not as high as these activities, but are not low as the low activities. Okay. And it's in the middle. You look at this, for instance, in my example, I have high activities, the software project, and the team meeting for me is very high, and reorganize is very high, and refocus on the software project are very high. However, myself, I classify it, take break, you say low activities, get coffee is low activity, and chit chat is low activity. And check for new mails is low activities. Well, you might say, well, I check mails, sometimes check for new mails is sometimes you say low or medium activity. Well, depends on the mail that you wanted to send. Okay, but remember that sometimes there are mails that are not very important. As you agree, I do believe that you agree with me that sometimes we need to respond emails that they are not very as important as we think. So this is in the second day, we will explain it, but remember to take in account, okay? So what the exercise for today is to make this table, okay? Try to do the table and classify the idea, medium, high, and low activity. And what is the reason for it? Because at the moment, what is your point, Antonio, about it? What is your approach of it? But by doing so, I don't understand very well time management. Well, indeed, you studied what's the point for this first model is knowing yourself. Is knowing yourself. The first approach is knowing everybody, because everybody is different. Everybody of us today that they are in this seminar are different, really different. Depends on the energy is different in the morning or in the afternoon, and depends on the way they think, the way they work, or whatever it is. Okay. So the idea of this this approach is to, by knowing this value, is like an example. Well, when you just did it, try to make a feedback. Try to get an overall result. And this is the exercise. This is the action. This is the exercise that you need to take into account. The exercises. This is the action. Record yourself in these activities. Time to know where your time works in daily basics. Then what you're going to do is gather actual data to fill in the last column of your activities table. So you need to focus on to gather the actual data to fill in and record the time. This is the explanation to do that. Think about a typical work week. I put in fiches to do this table. This is my recommendation. Think about it. Perhaps would be tomorrow. Tomorrow would be good. Tuesday, record the typical state of work week. You wanted to work in work week, for me, it doesn't matter. Okay, I see work week or whatever day. But this is not a suggestion, piece of advice. Then try to fill in the columns as you need. Record the time, describe what you're doing, and then record how long you stay on task. The time that you do these activities, for instance, could be a typical day of the office, and the result is it. Okay, this is the result. But what are my conclusions? It's a good question for us. Is my time well spent? So this is about me. This is about me, and I want it to be fair if my time is well spent or not. Okay. So my time, is it well spent? Well, another question that I wanted to ask myself is how many minutes do you spend doing low, medium, and high tasks during normal work days? So I wanted to know my final conclusion. So there are questions that to know it about your conclusion in the daily time, the time that you use in daily basis is well spent or not. It's not the point to prejudice, to make a prejudice about you. It's not the point to judge you. It's not the idea. It's no one is going to judge you. The only person that's going to judge you is yourself. So it's not about me. It's not about your partner. It's not about nothing. You are something wrong. It's where you are in the moment by doing so. And according to it, going to what have you learned, myself, for instance, the way that you spend your time, going to make it bigger, is the idea of it, how many minutes you spend doing low, medium, and high tasks. It's like to note yourself that what you learn and what surprises the most. The idea in this example is that in my example, that only 35% was spent on high value tasks. How I calculated it? Well, as you need to plus the high tax. Okay, you plus it. You have in terms of high tax. Well. Well, it's a start. It's not high task. Well, we start to adding this information, gathering this information to 10 minutes. Then you need to go to 20, and then go to 30, and then you go to 10, and then you go to 10, and then you go to 40. And finally, the final result is about 110 minutes. It's a rule of three. Rule of three involves is 30, 100. This is the total. You add the total numbers. The total of it is 30, 150 minutes. Okay. So you need to do a rule of three. Good rule of three could be okay. And okay, if I think it's not really complicated, but the rule 3, okay, I try to do by myself, and it's 30. Okay, this is the total. Okay, can you see on my screen? Perfect. Okay, this is a good rule. This is the total minutes about the working day. It's 100%. Okay. The good rule of thumb. And then in terms of value, high value, so it could be the rule of thumb involves X. Okay. So the result, it could be that you need to multiply it by it. Okay, 110% per, okay, 100. And then divide it by 315. Okay, this is equal 35. Okay, this is how I make this calculation. So what I learned about it? Well, I learned about, depending on me, I need to know that if I'm very feel battery in the morning, that perhaps in the morning after my breakfast, I feel very full of energy. And they know where is the time that I don't feel very good. We need to know which my activity are very low. Here they are very low. We're going to say low activity, that is not bad things, okay? But chit chat in the hall after the meeting is important. You need to talk. We need to be around people. We need to talk. We need to express ourselves. But remember that these activities didn't add any value for in terms of time management. Also, get coffee. You say, "Oh my God, you are very strict." No, it's not the point to take out my get coffee. I need to get coffee. However, in value, it's not adding value to me. Okay, and this is the take break in the staff room. The same. You need to low. Okay, I need to appreciate. I need to charge battery. You need to have a break. But this is not adding value to my daily days. Okay. So. So this is the first approach for today. Is that clear? The exercises? Okay.
There is a question from Maria Anton. She said, do we have to include all day activities or just for a period of the day?
Yeah, for a period of the day. It's not in the morning or in the afternoon. For me, it's okay.
Okay.
So because it's not very massive, I think so. I don't want to complicate. If someone wanted to do by yourself, but remember, what is very important that this work is for you. It's not for me. Well, it's good. I know it. You wanted to work here and you not to review it, but this is something useful for you. So starting by doing your own activities, perhaps it's time to invest time. You say, well, I need to invest time, need to copy these activities for the, but it's very useful for you. When you just do it, you realize is if I need to move these activities to others, I change them, putting in other places that it will be better, depends on the day. It's clear that low activities must be states when it comes to feel very full of energy. However, full activities, you can't move your activities because you are working by yourself. It's not necessary to move these activities. Sometimes we are stick to the time, stick to the work, stick in a job, and we can't modify activity. However, when it comes to working by yourself, you can move these activities. And Rafi said to organize important activities are located in suitable and correct time. Clear. Okay, that's correct. This is Rafi. That's correct. And then most importantly is to classify in the values. Values high value for you, what is medium value, and what involves low value. So be fair with you. I put an example by myself here. This is the exercise one in the design your activities. This is the exercise one, is here. Okay, I put the activity, the time, percent. You can use this table. Okay, the time, these activities. This is the first part. You're starting by putting your activity, your time, percentages. And the exercise two, you look for the exercise two. The exercise two is here in the practical assignment. The exercise two is about activity log. Okay, so it's this activity. So at the end, you can join, you can use the timesheet that is the same, the time activity, put your activity, the durations and value, and make a reflection. You need to do a reflections. What have you learned about the way you spend your time? What have you learned? For instance, I learned that only 30% of my time I spend in high activities, but the rest of them, the 65%, I spend in medium or low activities. So make a reflections about what you spend yourself in these activities. As I said before, this is about the exercise one and the exercise two. Okay, so it's not a reflection about, as I said before, it's not a reflections about prejudice about yourself. Okay, well, so let's start by moving on the topic two. So it's clear, perfect. Okay, let's move on. Setting goals, starting to set personal goals, understanding SMART goals, 5 rules to set yourself up for success. is the activity log is clear. So how do you define your time in order to know if I need to change my activities? I can do. I can modify my activities. I need to put in the high value when I feel of energy, and when I feel very low energy, other activities that involve low value. So the idea is when I feel very low energy, focus on the low activities. Low activities, for instance, chit chat in the half of the meeting, or get a coffee, or take break. This is low value. But low value involves sometimes putting contact link with the mood or biological clock. When you feel low for energy, for instance, you feel that you are very tired, but it's time, for instance, to check for new mails. Or in a meeting, that very boring meeting that they no value, it's time to do this sort of activities, the low value activities. So take break in a start room, it could be better when you feel low for energy. However, it wouldn't be understandable to make take break in a start room when you are very full of energy, because this energy might be more related to do high values. So try to modify, for instance, your break, your coffee, or these times in times when you feel overloaded, could be better, and try to do this action. Well, the second point is about setting goals. Here is like, you say, what is the point to setting goals, to set personal goals like time goal? Well, the idea of terms of time management is building a house from the roof. Okay, just building a house from the roof. People tend to, sometimes people are building the house from the roof. And I want you to build the house from the roof. Okay, it's not my idea. So in order to avoid it, you need to understand how you feel. When you know what is your need to be done in what order. So need to set the goals. Why is important to set the goals? If you don't set the goals, perhaps you have no idea where you are going. So this is crucial. By setting the goals, I'm very clear where I'm going to do, what exactly and what I need to get it. So without goals, perhaps you are in confusions. You are making you feel that you have no priorities. You feel your time away, and you have no the purpose of goals. So first of all, it's important to know where how you set your goals. Perhaps I want you to know what your goals are. You have goals. I don't know, and I have no idea what your goals are. What is your mind? As students, perhaps you have plenty of energy and you want it very clear your goal. My aim for today is to clarify what your goals involve. But in terms of time management is effective, really effective, that you need to set your goals. So the goals requires time and requires effort. And this is what I feel. People tend to neglect to make goals in a piece of paper because it requires time and effort. It's the same like an activity log. But the conversation is about your mind and you. And your mind said something. Though it's involved mind, your mind in general is very lazy. So remember, your mind and my mind and every mind of the people are very lazy. It involves sometimes the mindset. Well, it's not necessary to take a piece of paper to remember what you wanted to do and what you need to do that. But this is a misunderstanding. You need to clarify that your mind is work as a computer, and a computer maybe make predictions and maybe fail and maybe success, but it predicts something. But we are not, when you have this conversation with your mind, you need to take actions. I'm going to help you. I'm not here to help you. I'm going to do that because by doing so, in future, you can take advantage of it. So this is requires times and effort, and this is an approach about that you spend 10, 12 minutes trying to plan yourself. You will say yourself 2 hours was time and effort. So sometimes it's better to spend time 10 minutes trying to plan yourself. When you start working, for instance, you say you focus on the idea. It's not good. The best idea is to focus to say, what is my plan for today? Taking involving time for your goals. But if you clarify your goals, perhaps you have. Maybe it's in your agenda. Your agenda, for instance, Google, I know that word that you are you have put in your agenda on Google what you have to do, but it's not the choice. We are talking about tasks. Tasks is different to goals. If your tasks are linked to the goals, very good. However, your tasks are not linked to the goal, so it's nothing. It's not to make it's not. It doesn't make sense. So to try to clarify this goal. And how I make time? Well, I start by when the people start building a house from the roof. It's not a good idea in terms of building a house from the roof. It's better to build a house from the base, okay? Because by doing so, pues, stability makes strength, and the stability will be better than starting to the roof. I think this saying is clear. And the first of all for today is that we say private, setting personal goals, but what you to achieve in your lifetime. Lifetime goals give you a perspective in terms of decision making. Try to set goals in some of these categories. So it's like brainstorming today in terms of lifetimes. It's very short brainstorming. So try to first of all try to assess yourself. Try to set goals in some of these categories. This is the other exercises for today. And the exercises for today, exercises is like, as I said before, spend some time brainstorming this, and then select one goal in each category that best reflect what you wanted to do. So, goal in terms of some brainstorming and select one goal in each category. Well, the goals is like, well, here I prefer to ask yourself these questions in terms of different attitudes. I put some of them. So, do you want to achieve any artistic goals? If so, what? Would you want to achieve any artistic goal? Some students say, well, I'm not going to have an artistic goal, for instance. I'm going to do a preferred economics goal or whatever. You put it to read it and say it, write it down. Right? Attitude. Is any part of your mindset holding you back? Is there any part of the way that you behave that upsets you? If so, set a goal to improve your behavior or find a solution to the problem. So this is more your strengths and your weaknesses, okay, in terms of the attitudes. Another questions in order to brainstorm is about your career. What level do you want it to reach in your career? Is there any knowledge that you wanted to acquire in particular? What information skill will you need to achieve other goals? So in education, pleasure, how do you want to enjoy yourself? You should ensure that some of your life is for you. Or public sector, you want to make the world a better place. If so, how? So this is reflections in these works. I put some reflections here. For instance, we talk in artistic, we talk about attitude, we talk about career, we talk about educations, we got family. You want to be a parent, so how are you going to be a good parent? How do you want to be seen by members of your extended family? How much do you want to earn by what stage? Physical, are there any athletic goal you wanted to achieve, or do you want to go health deep into the old age? What step are you going to take to achieve this? Pleasure, how do you want to enjoy yourself? How do you want to enjoy yourself? Public said you want to make the world a better place. So there are different questions. It's not very complicated reflections, but I wanted to know in this very short brainstorming is to respond the questions, trying to explain as best as possible. And in terms of these questions, and then study it, okay? Because sometimes people, I realized in my professional career in terms of human resources, that people sometimes are wanting to have everything. And this is a mistake for it. Sometimes you need to have family, wanting to be a parent, and sometimes you need to want a lot of money, and sometimes you need to be very fit. But remember that sometimes you enter in contradictions, okay? So keep in mind when it comes to make your own goals, you need to define who you are, and who might lose if you decided to go in the roads or in the others, okay? But everything is not possible. So do you follow me in this aspect? So in this short brainstorm, and there are more questions, but this is a workshop. We need to stick to your time. But what I wanted to show you, this is more, you wanted to show the questions, so something they are very, very, very private for you. You wanted to share, it doesn't matter. Respond the idea more general, but the internal view is better for you. For instance, you be more financial, you wanted to earn a lot of money, or you are very, very, very people that wanted to earn. Perhaps this is a financial way. It's good to be a goal for earning money. However, you wanted to be a parent and you're very, very proud of being parent, to be family or members. Keep in mind that family is another link that you need to take in account. Or being physical active is another thing that you need to take in account. So the idea of it is not enter in contradictions, in contradiction about you, to clarify your goals, to clarify where you want it to be. This is a very short brainstorming to clarify yourself what you want it to be in future. But by doing so, what is your way, you can clarify what I'm going to explain later, what is called the setting your goals. Okay. So let's start by, if you have questions, let's about the people. So let's start by doing, if there is any questions. This is Rafael. This is Maria Esther. Thanks. Do we have to send the exercise to you? Yes, Esther, Maria Esther. Yes, you need to send me to my email. This is my email. The people that are here, they are that are attending this workshop might send for this email. Okay. At time I have just uploaded all the material of the exercises in the CloudHeart e-project. They send you where you can link it by clicking on the link. You can access to the exercise for today. What is your opinion about using Pomodoro and to-do list program? Well, Pomodoro, there are very lot of apps, okay? I'm not, for me, it's perfect. There are a lot of to apps that help you to do this program. Every time you find an app as Pomodoro to use, perfect for you, Rafi. It helps you, fantastic. It helps you to do that. So by using Do It, so you stick to these programs, to stick to your time. Here you take advantage of these programs by yourself. But remember, the idea of setting the goals for today is knowing yourself. Perhaps the in artificial intelligence didn't know about how do you want, what are your goals and what you wanted to achieve. So that's the idea. So to explain it for today. Would you just clarify what is your goal? What is your brainstorming? What is your how do you feel in terms of financial, physical? Family is important, financial is important, physical activity is important, or career is what level you want it to be, or education is very important, or attitude, however it is. So try to classify what is the best and what is the less. For instance, you have a lot of, well, for me it's important, this one and this one and this one. Try to not to enter in contradiction, okay? Because the people try to get all things, but sometimes if you feel contradictions about it. You are not Superman, you are not Superwoman, and sometimes it's really difficult to have a lot of things. I want you to have a lot of money. I want you to have a good family. I want you to be physical. So I'm afraid to say that is not possible, right? Because you are very, very wanting to earn a lot of money. Perhaps you need to involve a lot of time at work, more than 8 hours, 9, 10, and perhaps it's not good to have a family. Sometimes I'm very, very, wanting to be very, very restrictive. But this is my view, because being isolated, you need to invest time in your kids and your family as well. If you wanted to grow your family, or talk to your family and explain the situation. Okay, the situation that I need to stay a long time working in these activities, and I'm not going to be here for it. But I think it is understandable to understand where you want it to do, and what is your values, what is your career, your attitude, or what it is. When you can understand very well where you feel, for instance, you feel, well, I mean, for physical, like activity or family, for instance, is more or education, where it's time to make our goals, no? To make, this is the SMART goals, what is called SMART goals for today. And this is what I'm going to explain now. Here in the has too many breaks. Okay, perhaps, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Pomodoro because there are others, but perhaps are too many breaks. Okay. Well, sometimes there is artificial intelligence that create it, that Pomodoro, Josefa. And well, as I said before, taking advantage of it, it might help you to it. Okay, I'm not wanting to say that you can use it to do the list programs. I think you can use it. It's useful for you. Okay, so that's my point in terms of this to doing the list, the programs list, or to list activities for you, whatever. Here, the idea is to take an account what is your tasks. Your tasks are very valuable, your tasks are very medium, and your tasks are very low. So distinguish the sort of activities. When you just defined this, the final goals, it's time to define. It's time to create the SMART goals. Okay. Well, in these exercises, let's have a look to the exercises. I'm going to share you. This is the time we're starting to set personal goals. This is about these questions. So try to respond. Do you want to achieve any artistic goals? Is any part of your mindset holding you back? Or your career, what level do you want to reach in your career? Education, studying knowledge, family. You want to be a parent, or how to manage physical, personal, public service. Well, it's time to make reflections about the setting your personal goals. Setting personal goals involves focusing these activities in 5 rules that I'm going to explain now before the break, and I will show you later here in these explanations. Questions? Any questions so far? You have any questions? No? Everything is under control? Perfect.
I think so. No questions.
No questions?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's before having our break for today, will be I think in 10 minutes more or less. We will take our breaks. Let's start by explaining this exercise of what are SMART goals. I want you just clarify these lifetime goals. So here, as I said before, goals try to set some of these categories and what you want to achieve in your lifetime. So this brainstorm help you to know exactly who you are, which is how you feel. Because you feel contradictions, maybe it's very difficult for someone when what you are is not what you wanted to achieve. So it's better that what you wanted to achieve is what you are. Sometimes families, sometimes there are rules and they say, well, they are preferable for you. However, if you don't feel like this, it would be very harder to do that. So it's better to feel how you feel, how you are yourself. If you are more in one statement or rather than others. And when you clarify it's time to make your goals. What you just define to these categories, this is important to you. This is your category. You get the information. Well, clarify yourself where you want it to be. What you are, perhaps more financial, physical, or pleasure, or whatever issue in this short brainstorming. So try to say, you clarify yourself what you want it to be. Perfect. Okay, it's not necessary to make more questions about it. And then the second point for today, before the break, is understanding SMART goal setting. Well, SMART, do you know where SMART comes from? Any volunteer? For instance, you studied it. Okay. Any in Spanish? I have no idea if I explain it. I have no idea. You need to send it down. Okay. Okay, this is in Spanish. Okay, but make the translations. Yes, you need to send by done it. The exercises that Tamer uploaded here. So the 4 exercises. I think you need to send it. Okay, but try to not to, I think not very, very complicated to do it, but when you just do it, you can send. So if there is clear, so let's start by explaining what is involved set goals, setting the goals. I'm going to share it. Well, before break, I think in 10 minutes, we can make a break, and then we focus on it in this exercise, because I will you time now, right now, after the exercise, the break, to start to do it. Okay, I'll help you. You can start by doing this in this shop for today. I'll give you time for helping your activity to wanted to do this smart goals. So I help you to do it. You can share by your doubts, your queries. Give you time for doing this short of exercise, because I think you will have time. Do you want to share something, Tamer?
Yes, Anton, there is a question from Jessie. She asked about where can we download the exercise. Actually, all the teaching material now and the exercises are online for this for today, but you need a password to access it. So I will share with you the page. So please go to this page, and then the page will ask you for a password. The password is time 2. So if you just enter this page and enter the password time 2, time management, so time 2, you will end.
I can see the chat, Tamer.
You
Oh,
can see
no.
the chat.
No, I can see.
Time 2. Yes. Once you enter the time 2, I maybe I can share my screen. Maybe I can share the screen. Yes.
Because this is my screen, but I think so. Where
do you think I can stop your sharing?
no, okay, well, sorry. Well, it was my okay. Perhaps is like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Leave
I can do it here. Yes.
Yeah. No. Right.
Yes.
Yes. I can leave my screen.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can do it.
Yes.
Can you repeat the? Okay.
So everyone is seeing my screen, right? So if you go
Yes.
to the course where the same place that you make the registration, you will find a tab here called Access Course Material, Video Record and Exercises. Unfortunately, now I just logged in because I am logged in, but once you press this, you will get a restricted page and ask for password. What you need to enter is just the password time 2.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
screen. The screen is in black, Tamer.
Still black. Okay. Okay.
Now I can see your face.
Okay. I will try to. Maybe I can use a second one just to give the example in a correct way. So share this one. Okay. Now you see my screen.
It's I see my black screen. You say how you are looking at the screen of Tamer Abu, but
Yep.
it's black.
It's black. Okay. Strange.
Black.
Stop sharing.
Maybe you can use the chat. Can you use the chat to put this information?
Yes. I just would like to give them like a bill. I want to give them a real example, but But anyway, if they just go to this,
That's I mean, I'm going to take a break now. I think
yes,
a break now, and then you can fix this with your time.
later, exactly.
It's better. So if you are you agree, for instance, you can stop here
Mhm.
for 15 minutes approximately. The idea for today is take a break of 15 minutes, and then we come back in 15 minutes to come back here, and I help you how to handle these exercises for you. Do you agree? So in 15 minutes we come back. Okay.
Yep.
Any questions so far for the people to have a coffee or whatever? So stop it 15 minutes, and I think so is to 2020. So perhaps at 40:35 we come back. 40:35 we come back here and we restart this workshop. Okay, thank you very much.